All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Okay, so Nvidia earnings is on the way. It's Wednesday, and I think the market is very undecided right now. I think people are looking at Nvidia's price, and if it's anything like what we saw in September, if Nvidia comes anything less than perfect, then most likely the price will tank, right? Because during their call, they were very bullish. Like the last earnings, they were very bullish. The CEO said, we're going to be shipping out Blackwell chips pretty soon. They actually I think earnings per share was what was way more than what was expected by analysts, and also they were very profitable, right? But we saw that they tanked a little bit, but then they kind of just rebounded and went to 145. So I'm not sure if this is going to be the same scenario where we see a slight dip because maybe it doesn't kill it, but they do pretty good. The thing about Nvidia, people want it to be perfect at this point. It went from it was like a $4 or $5 stock back in 2015, 2016, went all the way up to 12, 1300 bucks, 1400 bucks. Did a stock split. Now it's at 140. Let me check the price just so I can make sure. But yeah, and people expect nothing but perfection when it comes to Nvidia. So I think if the Nvidia's earnings call is anything less than perfect, then we're probably going to see some type of sell off for the first week or something like that. But yeah, I think that people are expecting them to do good, right? I don't think they're going to do bad, because the reason being is because AI is so in demand. I mean, if you look at the crypto space, if you just look at what companies are shifting to, everybody's trying to shift their business model to incorporate AI. And Nvidia is leading the space when it comes to the AI space, right? They're selling GPUs at $40,000 a chip. And I don't think that's going to be sustainable for the next, in 5 years. I definitely think they're going to have competitors. But I think that right now you have the advantage, right? They have the advantage, first mover advantage. They've been around for a while. They have a lot of partnerships and things like that with companies where they're getting all the attention. They're getting all the hospitality when it comes to making these chips, and they kind of got a monopoly on the market. They have a monopoly on the market, and most likely, like I said, they're going to do to me. They're going to report really good earnings, but again, the market wants nothing but perfection when it comes to Nvidia. If it's not perfect, it's not going to be what the market wants. And let me share my screen so we can see this article right here. All right, so it says Nvidia's earnings are this week. Here's what Wall Street expects. Oh, let me move this down. All right, so it says the chip maker is expected to report revenues of $33 billion for the third quarter of fiscal year 2025. According to analysts, estimates compiled by FactSet, net income is expected to be $17.4 billion, and earnings per share is expected to be 0.75. Right, so some big numbers. They're expected to report $33 billion for the third quarter for the fiscal year of 2025. So anything under $33 billion is going to be very negative for the stock, right? Unless they kind of fix it up in the earnings call. But again, anything under $33 billion when it comes to reported revenue is not going to be good for Nvidia. It says, according to analyst estimates compiled by FactSet, net income is expected to be 17.4 billion. So anything short of that, and even if they hit that, honestly, I think last earnings report, they like, let's just say I don't remember what analysts expected, but let's just say it was 17.4 last quarter. I think they went over their expected earnings, but it wasn't by much, right? I think they had like an additional billion, and that wasn't enough for the market. The market did not respond well. Nvidia tanked, right? Earnings per share is expected to be 0.75, so hopefully it's around that. So the stock price doesn't tank. But in my opinion, I think I don't know what I think. I think Nvidia. I've been looking at their stock chart, right, and I've been saying this in past live streams that I've done, that I believe that the Nvidia chart is a little overextended, right? And we know this about charts, that they don't go straight up in a line, right? And if we look at this Nvidia chart, I mean, it's just going from, it went from 14 to 150, right? Adjusted, not adjusted for the split. So it was a lot higher, right? It was a lot higher. It was in the $1,400 or $1,500 range, but they did a stock split, and now it's sitting at 140. That 140 area. I think earlier this week it was at like 133, 144. But if we look at the chart, it's overextended, right? It's just been going up, honestly, since 2022, right? 2 years of up and up. But the thing is, AI and GPU demand has not been greater. I think the demand is just going up and up and up. AI is just one of those transformative sectors that, in my opinion, is just going to be here for the long term, right? I mean, look at the market cap of Nvidia. It's at 3.4 trillion. And make sure my mic is working. Yeah, my mic is working. Sorry, just ate. The market cap is 3.4 trillion. A lot of people are predicting that it gets to 5 trillion by the end of this year, which would probably put it close to that $200 range, right? And I don't doubt that it can't do that. Remember, we're in an a decreasing interest rate environment, and we're looking to decrease interest rates going into December, right? Another 25 basis points. Somebody was looking at the probability earlier, and I think it's like 50-50 that we get a 25 basis point cut in December, which is very high odds. And the inflation reading report just came. The inflation reading report was high. It went to like 2.6 or something, 2.6%. So I'm not sure if Jerome Powell is going to put a pause to decreasing interest rates, and because remember, he was waiting for inflation to come down to actually decrease interest rates, and we got that. So he decreased it in September, he decreased it in November, and now they're thinking about decreasing it again going into December. And obviously they're going to be decreasing interest rates going into the new year. So it's very bullish for a company like tech companies like Nvidia. And yeah, I could see it going to 200, but at some point it's going to need a pullback, right? This is why, if I had to invest, like if they're not financial advice, but if I had to invest in a stock right now, or if somebody said, would you want to invest in Nvidia or some type of other stock, I would pick something like an Intel. Because for me, Intel has been around so long, right? And for me, it's a buying opportunity. Their company is based in America. I think they're the only chip company that gets their chips done in America. And it's not overextended like Nvidia. Nvidia just has an overextended chart, right? And the market cap is just in the trillions. If we look at the market cap in Intel, and I'm not sure why is doing it. Did it freeze my page? Okay, right there. Well, and it's still doing it. Okay, whatever. I'll leave it like that. Um, yeah, I'm not sure why. Um, what was I saying? Yeah, I'm not sure why somebody would like. Nvidia is good for the long term. I think it's going to be a $10 trillion stock. So if you're going to play for the next 7 years, I was just saying, in my opinion, I think there's more upside with something like an Intel, where they're actually creating creating their own GPU chips for AI use and computation and things like that. And they're made in America. A lot of like Nvidia, they get their chips overseas, Taiwan Semiconductor, and anything can happen overseas. Right? So sometimes you have to hedge your bet and not put a lot of faith in companies that get a lot of their resources overseas, because anything can happen, like a war could break out, and supply can get messed up, and it could tank the price, right? And remember, Nvidia just charges a bunch for their chips right now. They charge a bunch for their chips. $50,000 a chip. I don't think it's going to be sustainable. I think you're going to get some competition in the market, and I think there's going to be some competition for them. I don't think it's going to be something like Amazon, where they just hold that monopoly for so long, and it's just I don't think that's going to be the deal. People always look for ways to get things cheaper, and I think chips is going to be one of those things. So Intel, for me, it's been around since I think the 1990s, right? I'm not sure why it's showing this like that. Uh, Advanced chart. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know why Yahoo Finance is showing the chart like that. Showing the chart like that. I wonder if I click something for it to have shown the chart like that. But yeah, for me, I'm actually very interested in Intel. I think once I get out of the crypto market, Intel is going to be one of the plays that I'm looking for. I'm hoping it gets back down to 20 by the time I get out of the crypto market, because I want to take a sizable position in Intel for the long term. It's going to be a long term play for me. It's going to be 3 to 5 years down the line, and I'm just gonna hold. Actually, I want to hold into the next crypto bull cycle. I think, but I'm very confident in Intel, because they've been around forever. One, they make their chips in America, and I think soon they'll probably be making chips for big corp. Maybe not Nvidia, but maybe like an AMD or something like that. Maybe they do it for an AMD, and maybe they just become one of the I think they're the only ones that make their chips here in America. So, and Intel, like I said, for like all the work laptops that you see, Intel is kind of doing their thing. All right, so let's go back to this Nvidia report, and let's finish this off, right? It says Nvidia reported revenue of 30 billion for the second fiscal quarter. The company's shares are up 204% so far this year. Despite beating Wall Street expectations with the second quarter results, the company's shares fell during after-hours trading and into the morning due to unimpressed investors who sought higher revenue guidance. So, like you said, they beat revenue expected earnings. Whatever they expected, they beat that, but investors were still unimpressed. It's like having have you ever had somebody that you've done so much for? Maybe like every year you got them like I'm just being outrageous, but let's say you just got them like $1,000 gift each year for their birthday, and then like one year you get them $100 gift. Well, it's still a good gift, right? If you got somebody $100 gift today in your circle, I'm pretty sure they would be appreciative of it, unless they're just like making millions and stuff like that, or maybe just not grateful. But if you got anybody in your circle $100 gift, they would be happy, right? But since you've been always giving them $1,000 gift, The moment you give them $100 gift, they're ungrateful. They're not impressed, right? So that's kind of the same thing that happened with Nvidia, where people were just expecting 200-300% over, uh, uh, you know, over revenue, over earnings per share, just crazy shattering numbers. And they didn't get it this time. They just did a little bit over what was expected. And investors didn't like that. And the price tanked. So, yeah, I mean, but it says nothing about Nvidia. Nvidia is a really good company. I think if you want something to hold for the next 5 to 10 years, and you want to, I would say, like, safely double your money, I'm not gonna say hold Nvidia because I can't give financial advice, but I think it would be a solid hold. I just think you would get it faster with something like Intel, and yeah, I think Intel is just one of those plays where people are sleeping on just because they got a new CEO and things like that, and and the price chart does not look good, and I wish you could see it on here, but it's just for some reason it's just not showing the way it needs to show on here. Okay, yeah. So yeah, now it's showing. I don't know what the heck was going on before. But yeah, if you look at the price chart for Intel, I mean, look, it's taken a huge dip, especially from where it was. But I think it's a beautiful buying opportunity. That's why I said I hope it goes lower. Hope it takes a bigger dip. Hopefully it goes to like $15. But hopefully it just ranges in that $20 range. But yeah, so Nvidia's earnings is tomorrow. Or is it tomorrow? No, Wednesday. It's Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that. Remember, Nvidia moves the market. So if Nvidia does really, decent earnings, most likely the overall market would do well. Nvidia's been holding up the stock market for a while. It's in the major indices and things like that. So I think if they do well, the whole market would pick up. And I think since last time we got a dip, maybe we see the opposite happen, and maybe we see that after a solid earnings report, they go up in price. But again, that chart does look overextended. So if you see any negative news, if they report any negative news in that earnings report, best believe that price will shoot down all the way down to like 120, 110. But just my opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.